record and share my screen. Excellent. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. So I've just grabbed any random mod. What's going on here?
So what I'm asking for, it's easily done in the software, right? Because for my application, I need to move the mandible just to a specific location.
That's
So if that's
that,
doable, that's good.
yeah. So we'll just go. Can you see my full screen? Yeah,
Yes.
you can.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Perfect. All right. So we've got two models. Are you able to make models yet, or do you have to go through that, or not really? Yeah.
No, I can import models. Yeah, that part we're good. Yep.
Okay. So basically, what we need to do is we need to articulate it. So the first thing we're going to go and do is we're going to go to the articulator module. I'm going to just collapse all these menus here like that.
So just for clarification, I go to the model modules, import the models, and then
Yeah,
go to articulator, basically. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Just like we would do in the the analog method, we would make the models and then we'd put them in the articulator. So
Okay.
so way we work it, we're going to name this upper, we're going to name this lower, and you'll see the names on the two, and then we'll just import the mounting plate. That'll hide the lower. The lower is still there, but it's parented to the upper. So as I'm moving it, the invisible lower one moves with it. We're going to look at the bottom side, and here it is quite important to rotate using the R key and the G key to put it to this little stopper here, okay? And also to sort of get the midline sort of correct, okay? So these ovals are more arbitrary, but they will sort of help you decide how to rotate the model, okay? So from
Okay.
here, we've done the front, okay? We've done the bottom, and we can also do the right-hand side. We can move the model up and down. Okay, so this is along the campus plane. So this is what we're working on. If you're using the face bow, like with the photo and everything, you would go into this menu over here, but we're not going to do that right now. We'll dive straight into making this splint. So once I'm done with the yellow mounting plate, we're going to delete this mounting table, okay? So the other one will reappear. Now what we want to do is, the only reason why we did that is like, when you put it in the articulator, you want to visualize the models on the articulator. Otherwise, they're going to be standing far away or not relatively to the condyles or the articulator, jaw locations. So here we're going to go to we're going to click on Auto Setup Import Condyles. You can do the articulator by itself, or you can use an automatic one, which uses the default values of all of these, okay? So if we have time, I'll go through with you with this. So let's just click on this Auto Condyles, okay? Now that gives us a silhouette of a skull, and it gives us the condyles in relation to the model. Have you got any questions so far, or are we okay so far?
So far, okay.
All right. Sorry. Now, when we go down to the navigation, this has already been animated. So if I click on view right and view left, so there is an animation which already exists. But of course, now we want to customize the animation to your individual needs, right? So
Yep.
what we're going to do is we're going to go to the articulator constraint. I'm going to click Control left click to fold all the other menus down so that I don't get confused. So I've only got this one. So Control left click on the actual folder bar. All right, so we got it animated, but we want to make our own animation. That means we're going to go into Edit. I'll just open up the outliner to explain what's going on in the background. Okay. So here what we have is we've got the condyles, which are the CL. So this is just some in-depth knowledge. And you've got the animation, which is left, open, bite, protrusive, and right. So this is what we're going to be editing right now. Note that everything is parented to something. Parented means it is linked to an object. So the skull and the lower model is parented to something called the anchor. Okay, so the anchor is like a little cube, which you can see over here, and then everything is parented to that. So if you're making a splint or whatever, we need to always parent it to this one. But that's in-depth knowledge. You don't have to do anything here, just so that you know what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to open your occlusion up a little bit. So I'm going to go Edit. This has selected the arrow, which is called Open Bite, and you can see that in the outliner. Now this is the one we're going to be editing. Now you want, how far did you say you want to open it? Like 2-3 millimeters or something?
I want to, yeah, I want to set the mandible 3 millimeters vertical and then down and then 1.75 forward.
Okay, so when we are saying that, how much did you say? Three, sorry, I didn't quite get
Three
that.
down.
3 down.
Yeah, three.
Okay.
Yes.
So at what point, where do you want to set to 3 millimeter? On the articulator pin or the back tooth, 3 millimeters down? Because as we're moving,
The entire mandible, just like just
okay,
3 mils, and then so it's like
so
down, and that's it.
as I'm moving here, we can see the front section here, for example, is moved 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, nine and a
I guess
half
it would be the
millimeters.
molar.
So you're talking
Like, is
about
there any way?
the
Yeah, is
molar.
there any
Yeah.
way just have the mandible go just like this, right? Just go like boop,
Yeah.
3 mils, and then like
So it's tricky to from an individual basis because you may have a person with an overrupted tooth or something. So we are looking at this from at the back because you need enough space, and correctly so 3 millimeters is usually quite a good opening. Okay, so there is a way of doing it. We've got like a heat map, but um, we don't. I mean,
like
I don't
for
often use it. Sorry?
yeah, for what I need, it's just like kind of like independent of the material thickness.
Yeah.
I just need the mandible to literally move down certain amount, forward certain amount. Just the entire thing just go like boop, like
Okay.
that. Kind of
Okay.
like a right triangle.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, I sort of understand. So you have to move it forward and down at the same time. Okay. Yeah. So,
Yep.
okay, let us go to,
Exactly like a right triangle. Yep.
let's go edit protrusive. Okay. So here we're going to, the jaw was in this relation. Actually, I'm just trying to think. Maybe we should set up what I'll do is I'll set up a completely new animation. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll delete the
Okay. Yeah.
condyles and delete the animation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back up top here and we're going to bring up
Do
the
we do we
articulator.
do we need animation? Like, can we just like move it there and then make a
Yeah, yeah, of
TMJ
course.
splint or make a splint? Okay, awesome, awesome.
The only thing is that if you don't animate, you can't perform all the excursive cuts or all of the
Uh,
you
we
know
don't
that
need to do that. I don't think, because
mm,
I'm learning this on
mm,
behalf of my mentor.
yeah.
So he just wants me to, I guess, like just go like down, forward, make a splint, that kind of stuff.
Okay, I understand. I understand. Okay, so we've hit this button, and what I'm going to do here is we're going to just shift the door slightly forward. So we're going to go edit here. So this was the original one animation, and we're going to open up this byte here. And how much forward did you say you want to have this?
Forward is 1.75.
1.75. I just have to figure out exactly how we're going to do this at 1.75 because you seem quite precise with that. What I'll do is I'll just set this new location because this has been set already. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this open byte, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to set the protrusive. So this sets it from zero, from new. Now here 1.75. So here what I've got on the actual articulator, I've got a few markings here. So it was at zero and I've got 5. So I don't have increments of less. Maybe I should put that in for you because we haven't had a need for that. Can you see here? It says 0, yeah? We've got 5 and we've got 10. Perhaps I should put increments of, I don't know, less. I haven't had this request before because now what we're moving is we're moving the jaw from here. Can you see? So, and maybe I need a
Yep.
notch over, maybe I need a notch over here. So this is a obvious a special request. So this would be, we're going to have to put a 2 mark or something. Can you see the numbers here? 0, 5, and 10.
Yep.
So we need to get it quite a bit more specific. Yeah. Okay. I haven't had this request before.
The way the way my mentor says, like ask you if you can think of it as moving along the hypotenuse
Yeah.
because if
Yeah.
it's a right triangle. Yeah.
Correct. So what we've done is we've moved it down the condyles, okay, down the eminence, but we haven't opened it yet, which means we still have to open it up. So we're going to rotate it here. And you said by 3 millimeters. So again,
Yeah.
um,
3 down, 1.75.
okay, so but this is measured in degrees. It's not measured in millimeters. So what we're going to have to do for you is to get an estimated value what 3 degrees equates to. Um, so if because you don't want to do this every single time. So if I take a measurement from while it's open from the cusp tip, it's quite close. It's quite close, 3.1. You see, 3 degrees. So gonna have to. Um, are you very precise on this, or does it have to? Is it more or less?
Say that again. Not sure if I understood.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm saying is, are you extremely precise on the 3 millimeters at the back, or more or less?
I think as more or less
Okay.
because I
Okay.
think the cases I worked on is 3 and then 1.5, 1.75, that kind of range.
Okay, so we'll just keep this at 3 degrees now for this example, okay?
Okay.
So we've set it forward, okay, by, uh, yeah, okay. So I've got to put more increments into this to help you out, and we've set it to a certain location. right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to set this new location for the lower, which means that it's, we've opened the articulator, no animation to it, it's just open, okay? And we're going to delete the condyles, okay? So this is what you wanted. You wanted it open and open and move forward, which we have.
Yep.
Okay. Now we want to engage in making the splint. Let me just save this. Okay. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to block out these models. And that depends on a lot of factors with your undercuts and so on. We're making a lower one, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to name this lower. It changes color to acknowledge that you've pressed that button. We're going to create an offset. Now, it depends whether you're milling or you're printing. And this is something where you have to figure out how tight or loose your printer resin combo is. Okay, this could be 0.1. It won't be 0.001 or something, because we're printing at 50 microns in accuracy. If you're milling, that'll be way less. So we apply that, and that gives us a new mesh structure, and we're going to click on finish. Now, if you're printing out of hard material, aren't you? Or is it like sort of semi-hard or soft or something?
I think I'm going to use key splint hard, the hard material.
The hard. So we have to think about undercuts. In this case, this jaw has very, very little undercuts. And if that's the case, you would stay with offset model. If you've got a patient with huge undercuts, you would undergo this, the blocking out of it. So let's assume there's lots of undercuts, which is not. I would probably just use this model here. Let's just assume, just for the sake of this video, so I can explain what we are doing. So here what we're going to do is we're going to survey the lower. Yeah. Now this surveying, you have to go inside of this, into one of these quadrants, hold the left mouse click down and move the mouse. Okay. And then we would survey this. Alternatively, you can use these sliders. Okay. Forward, back, left and right. We don't rotate it. Okay. So based on your bird's eye view of where the undercuts are, okay, we would then block it out. Okay. So the blocking out will depend on a few things. We've got three options. We can alter less retentive, which means it only blocks out limit to 0.2 millimeters. More retentive, 0.4, and then we can block out our own method of, sculpting undercuts. And it's just a bit like in the lab when we add wax and we add to the undercuts and we take away undercuts. So this is well covered in our video tutorials. So what I'll just do is I'll hit this button over here. Okay, as I said, this one is not, I would probably not even block out undercuts because it's just, we always have to think about how this thing's going to be retained in the mouth. All right. Then following that, we're going to make the splint. Okay. So here we go. You can see there's no undercuts blocked out over here. Here there's one over here a little bit. Okay. I'll just save what we have. Have you got any questions so far? Or?
So far, so good. But after you show me this, I'll probably need you to go back to show me again
Yeah,
the
yeah.
the condyle part. Yeah,
Yeah.
that part's crucial for me.
Yeah. I've made this recording, but also what I'll do is I can make another short video of how to set the jaw forward. And
Oh, okay, okay.
I've got to edit that blue object to put some more increments in there, to cater for your procedure. All right, so we've articulated it, we've made a block out of the model, and now it's time to make a splint layer. Now, once we engage in this whole thing, the blockout module makes 3 different models. Okay, so we have the offset model, which is the first one that we've done, which is not blocked out. We've got a passive model, which we use for implant guides, because we don't want any undercuts. And we've got the retentive model, and we've got the original model, okay? Now we're going to be working with this retentive model for now, or you can choose, okay? So we're going to go to the splint and layer. Okay, so let's have a look, splint and layer. Now, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can paint on the layer, or you can draw the layer. So I'll just quickly cover the paint on layer. This is probably, it's quite fast, but they've got pros and cons both. Okay, let me save this file, save. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to give it a name. Okay, so it's called retentive model. We're going to call it target model. So then what we can do is we can go paint layer, and that'll give us the ability to paint where we want to put your layer. So you said you wanted to have a layer on one side and you want a layer on the other side. Okay, so here's one side. Okay, so if you make a mistake, okay, you're going to hit a minus sign, and then you can withdraw that. So let's hit the plus sign again, and we can make a layer. Okay, so this is one method of making it, because you don't want it all the way. Is that correct? You said you wanted it only up to there. Okay, so this is one way. We're going to accept this. It'll give us the option then to smooth this layer, which we then going to smooth the periphery of this layer on both sides. And then I won't do this all because you're in a rush. So what we're going to do is we're going to then, after smoothing, we're going to exit. It'll give us the opportunity to remesh it, and we're going to finish it. So this is one way. Okay, let's do the other way. So the other way is we're going to do exactly the same thing. So draw method, and we're going to give it a name target. That's the first thing we have to do, so that Blender will know which object to look for. We're going to click on draw layer line. Okay, we'll just wait. And that's going to protrude out there's 2 vertices. One of them is highlighted. Okay, we can take this one and we can put it down. Then what we can do is we can left click. So E means extrude. We're extruding it outwards. Now there's 2 ways of doing it. We can go all the way around and then cut the splint like that, or we can do 2 sections like we did earlier. So for this one, I'm just going to go all the way around just to explain how we can do the cutting. Otherwise, we can do 2 sections. Okay, so here I'm using left click. Okay. And of course, I'm taking it a little bit further down because of the lack of undercuts. If you've got good undercuts, you don't have to go so far down. Okay, so when I get to the end, we can then we're going to trim this. So what that means, it's going to cut the duplicate model into 2 parts. You should see 2 different colors. If you don't see 2 different colors, there's various things that you've done wrong. For instance, you may have gone into the crevices very deep and there isn't cut. So what we'll do is we're going to click on clean, which means it's going to delete the inverse, and we're going to click on make a layer. And now note also with the paint on in this layer, I didn't cover this. It says it's 4 millimeters thick. That means it's actually 2 millimeters 2 millimeters on the inside and 2 millimeters on the outside. So if you make a measurement,
Mm.
2 and 2, that's 4 millimeters. So always double it. So if you want your layer to be 3 meters thick, you're going to put 6 millimeters in here. Okay, so that's important to remember. So as soon as I click on accept, it's going to remesh it, and it's going to create a layer on the inside and outside. The inside is on purpose because we're going to cut the fitting surface right at the end. Okay, so yeah, and then from here we can smooth it again. We can smooth the periphery like this, and then we can exit. It gives us opportunity to remesh it and finish the layer. Okay, if you've got any questions as far as this is.
So far so good.
Okay, so here I've gone all the way around. You could have made one layer, and then you could have made another layer with this draw method. Do you want me to show you how to do it, or do you think you'll be okay with that?
Please show me.
Okay, so let's do it around. Okay, so file again, name target, shift right click to place your cursor. That's always a starting point of everything. And we're going to draw the layer line. Okay, we've got an extrusion, extrude. Now, how far forward would you come? Up to the premolar or up to the second premolar? Do you know?
First premolar,
So you'd come
which is
distal.
missing here.
Okay.
Oh, no,
So
it's here.
no, this is the first premolar. Distal
Yeah,
of it, or
that's good.
yeah. Okay.
Yep,
So I'm
that's
not
good.
going to
Detail
go.
it. Yep.
I'm not going to go into approximately for now, because we probably get a better result if we just stick to simple mesh structure. So here, let's just go all the way.
Okay.
Shift left click F to fuse, and then what we're going to do is we're going to click on trim. We can now select this part of the mesh. So click anywhere over here, and we're going to click clean, which deletes the inverse of it. We're going to make a layer. We're going to accept the layer and smooth and blah, 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 and we're going to finish this. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the next side. The same thing. It's still called target model, you can see. So we're safe to say we can continue right. So here, draw a layer line. Now, if you don't like the technique of using E on your keyboard, you can click on this extrude. Okay, so this means now we can just left click. Notice where there are concavities and convexities, I increase my vertex count. Where it's nice and flat, I don't have to. So I can go longer areas, but where I go over these, concavities and convexities, I will increase my count. When I get to the other side, I can click on F to fuse. We're going to trim this, select it, clean, make your layer, and accept your layer. Okay, and then we can smooth it again, and then we can exit, and we can finish this layer. Okay, so we've got 2 layers, and you're going to put a bar in there or something, isn't it? Is that correct?
Can we design it with a piece of plastic as well, I guess? Like just pre thin enough.
So you want another layer here or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we can do the same thing, or we can have a combination of two. So I could go into the paint on. Okay, so this is still called target model, make sure target model. So I'll show you how to add. So here what we'll do is we're going to click on paint layer. Okay, it'll just take a while because it duplicates it and it makes a new model behind the scene. So just say you want like a lingual bar, something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking great.
Okay, I may have to send you another Zoom session because it may cut out because it's only set to an hour. Okay, so here we're going to set it millimeters again, like what we've had before. We're going to accept the layer. Okay, I'm going to we're going to finish this layer. So it looks pretty rough. Okay, now how do you join all of this together? Okay, we're going to take this one, shift left click, shift left click. We're going to select all three of those. Okay, so now we're going to look for join button. There's several join buttons all over the module. It says separate or join. Here, join objects, separate objects. Alternatively, you can use a shortcut key Control J on your keyboard, or you can right click. Right click, you should also have join. You see, join. This is important. So you've joined these up, but if you look at them, there are three objects, but they are still joined up. This is a transparent button. Now, we need to remesh it. Okay, so what you can do is we're looking for voxel remesh button. Okay, so here in the tube section, there's a voxel remesh. We've got these all over in the WhatsApp. We've got these voxel remesh buttons. So what that does, it's going to remesh. It's going to remesh that, and it's going to make it one object. I don't want you to make it too fine, because some users think of, oh, the finer they go, the more accurate it is. But that's not the case. The accuracy depends on the fitting surface, not what's on the outside. Especially we're printing at 50 microns, so it's just going to slow down your computer and have problems with Boolean cuts and whatever. Let's keep this at 0.3, and we're going to apply that. Okay, so now this is one object. Of course, you can go into smoothing if you want to, and so on. Okay, maybe I'll just show you. Okay, yeah, so go back to paint on. You can click on smooth layer. Just give it a nice smoothing. We're always looking at having good quality meshes. Now you may just say you may be short somewhere. Okay, so let's just here. You may be in a situation where, okay, let's just exit the smoothing, exit. It gives us another voxel remesh here, and we're going to finish it. You may think, oh, well, you know, maybe I should take it further down here. Okay. So what you're going to do is go tab, edit mode. Okay. Make sure your proportional editing tool is on, magnet tool is off, and then you can always grab your mesh structure if you want it. Okay, so that's just
nice.
one way of doing it. And so the proportional editing is very important because you can do a lot of things with it. Now what we want to do is we want to see the original model. So look for a button called original models to see your upper model. If you can't find a button, it's always in the outliner window here. But okay, so this is a filter section here. So here, original model, but you should find it because there's quite a few original model buttons because we want to see the top. Now, what we have, we've got missing. We've got stuff missing. So, I mean, we need to add material, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to to the occlusal. I've got an echo effect now. Occlusal rim section, and I'm going to select it. We're going to shift right click to place my cursor, and I'm going to click on draw outline. Okay, you still there?
Yep.
Hello? Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, I thought you had cut out here. So what I'm going to
No, I'm
do is
taking. Yeah.
I'm going to make 2 bite blocks on top of it. So here, extrude, shift left click F to fuse, yeah, and we're going to then make a single rim. Okay, so this is now this is extruded downwards because it's built for the top going down. So maybe I can still change that because with coding back then I didn't know as much coding as what I do now, so I could probably change a few things. So I'm rotating, and I just want to make sure that I'll use the S key to make the platform a little bit bigger. maybe that's a bit big. So just to make sure that the teeth are in fact on it. Okay, so tab to get out of it. I'm going to make another one over here, draw rim outline, extrude it all the way. Okay, up and across. Shift F, F2. Then what we're going to do is we can make a single. Take that upwards. Use the R to rotate. So this is just like having a wax bite. Okay, so yeah, something like that. Now, okay. So from here we want to fuse this. So we're going to unify to layer. Okay, so this is unified both to the layer. We're going to click on the smooth button and we're just going to smooth that down. Now, if perhaps we shouldn't have deleted the articulation because we should still make a cut because you want some type of occlusion, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Like
now
heavy occlusion. Okay.
yeah. So the thing is now we've actually, yeah. So here's your bite block. You've filled it up nicely. You've got your rim all in place, and that sort of concludes your layer. Okay.
If
Sorry.
if you look at my no, if you look at the pictures I send you, on the lingual portion, there's a wall. Can you show me how to add specifically to the lingual side?
Just see your picture. Just have to grab that. Hold on a sec.
No problem.
Where's the wall? On the back,
Yeah,
is
on
it?
the lingual. I think there's one more picture. Up,
Here,
up.
up. This
Keep going,
one?
keep going, keep going.
Uh,
One more.
is it further down or no?
Further up.
Up.
Keep going one more. That one, yeah, that's the one.
I don't see it. I don't see it. Is it the first picture? Here,
Yep,
here.
first picture.
Ah,
Yep,
you've got, I didn't even see that. Okay, you've got like a wall going up there.
yep.
Ah, okay. I see. I understand. Okay, so let's just take this back. All right. So what we need to do is, okay, so this is something you caught me on. What we could do is we can go back into edit mode. Okay, edit mode, and we can, well, the proportional editing tool is on. I'm going to select with the C key. I'm going to brush vertices like this. Okay, and I'm going to go same thing over here. Okay, then what I'll do is I'm going to go G is on the Z direction, and we can bring these up accordingly, but you need to scale them inwards, don't you? So
Yeah, a little bit.
maybe I should do them individually. Okay, GZ, and move them out like I don't know how far up
Ooh,
you want
okay.
to. I don't know how far up you want to go.
Oh no, like what you're doing is there. Yeah, what you're doing is perfect.
Okay, so grab G, Z, up, and then move this outwards like that. Okay, like that, and then we'd go back into the smoothing. You can right click to get your smoothing done, and you can smooth that outwards like that. Is that something you were thinking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Is